most commonly dubbed as Kopele, we have Dickson Young Mutambo, who is popularly known as the governor. Before I introduce him to the site, allow me to play this short clip so that you get to see an insight of the person that we are about to get interactive with. Stay tuned and keep watching.
Kitwe, located in the heart of the Copper Belt, with a population of over 500,000 residents, this city has been the backbone of Zambia's development, contributing significantly in different sectors. Economically speaking, being largely dependent on copper, Kitwe is home to copper-producing mines, like Kokola copper mines, Mopani copper mines, Grizzly mining, just to mention but a few. Trade is another aspect that contributes significantly to the gross domestic product, and being home to one of Zambia's huge markets, Chisopone market, lies right here in Kitwe, which contributes to the economic stature of our country. Educationally speaking, Kitwe is home to the second largest higher learning institution, the Copperbelt University, plus other higher learning institutions that produce on an annual basis skilled and trained professionals that contribute to the job market and labor market of our country. And being the talent hub of Zambia, Kitwe is home to two elephants in the Zambia Premier League football, Ghana and Power Dynamos, and also the music, the fashion. Kitwe has given Zambia so very much, and what are we giving back in return? Dilapidated roads, improper land settlement, poor waste management and waste collection, lack of employment and opportunities for our young people, lack of empowerment for our mothers and brothers and fathers in the markets. Being born and bred in this city, I have an obligated duty to play a role in its attainment of development. With that said, I, Dickson Young Mutambo, will be contesting in the forthcoming general elections for the position of mayor for this great city of Kitwe. Now do some kukaka software ya new bagelo na bagaiga.
Lelo ndesumina ukweba titetindeto buyandanshi muno mumusumba wa Kitwe palwandiyo. Echo ndemilomba mwebe nankana mwebe na usakile abena chimwemwe bakamvinza na bakwacha bonse mwebe kala Kitwe ukuti twikatane apatulete ndeko bulwendo wakutwala Kitwe kuchalo.
So to all the boys and girls, to all the ladies and the gentlemen, the young men and the women, the fathers and the mothers, the grandparents and the grandchildren, this is the governor speaking. The governor says, we are in charge.
Alright, so you're welcome back to Open Mic Conversation. This is the show that bridges the gap between the general republic and their leaders. Alright, so as we are on our phone line conversation tonight, as I told you, we have a very special guest who is in the house, rather who we are having our interaction with virtually, who is no other than Dickson Young Mutambo. And for all those people that do not know him as Dickson Young Mutambo, because one of the names that went so viral is the governor. Alright, so on this episode short, we have the governor who is going to articulate why he's the governor and what Dickson Young Mutambo is all about. How he came up with the whole idea of wanting to aspire as a mayor for Kitwe, such a big city and such an interesting topic. So at this particular moment, I will allow the man of the moment to give us a brief reintroduction, because we saw a brief introduction in a previous video that we just showed. But now I would like for him to give us a statement of who he really is and what he stands for, as well as what he is standing for as he aspires to be the mayor of Kitwe. Stay tuned as we listen to what our very own guest has to say. Hello and good evening, Mr. Dickson.
Good evening, Chanda.
Evening, thank you. You are welcome to Open Mic Conversations, and we are glad that you are on our show tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm extremely excited.
All right, so in a short period of time, just give us a brief introduction about who Dickson Young Mutambo is, all right? And also let us know what inspired you into jumping into politics from a very tender age up until now. Let us know what your story has been.
Thank you so much. And to everybody that is listening in, whatever you're listening in from, be it the Copper Belt, be it Kitwe, across the street, this is the governor speaking. As earlier introduced, my name is Dickson Mutambo, and the question that is a very important question: who is Dickson Young involved himself in politics, despite all the narratives that are disadvantageous as young people? Well, to start with, Dickson Young Mutambo is simply a young man with a very big dream. A dream that went to my relatives, they tend, a dream that when I share with my close, they tend to ask, well, young as I am, I'm not think about. And that is the dream to bring development, not only in my country, Zambia, but across the world. And that should start from somewhere, which is why I'm trusted with leadership responsibilities. As and what leadership
Okay, so I think we're having a little bit of connection issues at the moment. So just jump into a short break as I have my technical team get to fix one or two things, because we had a very insightful preamble from Dickson Young Mutambo, who has been explaining to us who he is and what he's all about. So just in this short break, allow me to take the short break so my technical team can do justice on this show. Stay tuned and keep watching.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Hello and welcome back to Open Mic Conversation. This is a conversation that bridges the gap between leadership and the general public. And for tonight, our guest is Dickson Young Mutambo, most commonly known as the governor. He was just telling us about his journey and what really started his story, all right? So in these few minutes, I would really love for us to get into knowing who the governor is, as well as getting to find out what his role as a Kitwe mayor will be and what his vision for the people of Kitwe is. All right, so at this particular time, let's just jump into our phone line conversation and get to listen to what he has to say. So stay tuned and keep listening. All right, so as we all know, Kitwe is one of the places that is mostly known for copper, mostly known for mining and trades. So we want to find out from Dickson Young Mutambo, first and foremost, because of the intro. The intro was interrupted, so I'd like for you to give us a brief intro of yourself again, and then we'll dive deep into the vision of Kitwe and all. Hello? Yes, you can go ahead and just give us a brief intro of yourself. You were saying before the show was cut, so you can go ahead from where you ended.
And I really pray and hope.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Listen to at any point, I'm not comfortable, please do give me a tip.
Okay.
Dickson Young Mutambo is a young man with a dream to bring development in our country, not only limited in Africa and across the oceans, which is all that larger, but it has to start from somewhere. Start even without knowing what leadership is for myself, as barely. So being in different platforms of leadership at a very young age, subjected my age, because my people that were at the same time.
Okay. All right, so that is quite interesting. Owing to the fact that you have been in a leadership position from a very tender age, what do you feel like? Do you feel like it has restricted you from certain things in life? Like, do you think that there are certain limitations that you've always had as a child? Because if you're in a leadership position, certain people expect you to have a certain way of how you conduct yourself. Do you feel like it has ever come to a point where you're trying to balance your social life and your leadership life?
Absolutely. And you'd find that things that young my age supposed to bring completely different to what I'm doing as a young leader. When young people are supposed to be having the time of their lives right now, and there's this certain image that I have to portray, which I am not complaining, because in that particular image.
All right. Okay, so owing to the fact that, Okay, so we also want to find out about something. Looking at the fact that you are a youth out there, there are certain aspects that people have. They believe that a leader is supposed to be somebody older than them. People believe that a leader is supposed to be at least somebody who's older. I want you to help us change the narrative, because there are youths out there that are seated and still waiting. They still don't understand. They feel like these positions belong to older people. What did you say about it?
I would love the person that said young people are the future leaders or the leaders of tomorrow, because that person was completely wrong, I would say. Most of us, we have responsibilities. We have the vision, we have the potential. Now, all we need is to convert it into a reality. In this world we're living in today, we're having people that are portraying as though they are 5 years old. And we have people that are young, that are programmed to act as though they are 40 years old. So age is really just a number in certain contexts. What's important is the substance, delivery. What is one bringing to the table? That's what's important.
All right. Okay, so and talking about what is one bringing to the table as an aspiring mayor of Kitwe, all right, what are some of the things that people from the Copper Belt should expect from you? Let's say we give you the position in the next 3 years. What are some of the things that the people from Kitwe should expect from you? All right. So we also want to find out, looking at the fact that you are young and you're looking at the aspect of doing something great. Don't you have the phobia of older people coming to you or coming against you or fighting you? Don't you have the phobia of that aspect where you look at, you're competing with so many older people, you're competing with people that have been trying to have this seat for a long time? Do you have any specific fear, or you're just taking it one day at a time and you're strong?
I feel like fear does not exist in my vocabulary, because once I submit to what we call fear, then definitely I'm not going to believe that God himself has planned for me according to Jeremiah 29:11. So looking at the things that are obstacles, people that see problems, people that are intimidated by one or two people, big names in the game, finances, logistics, all of those things, those to me are merely things that I would love to call distractions. Obstacles are those you see in the eyes of the goal. That's like I've been in the game for a long time. Those people that
Okay, so right about now, we just got to know a few things about the governor, getting to know the aspect of him having a leadership position from a very young age, up into some of the things that he believes in. He believes that there's no fear in his vocabulary. Right after the other side, we'll get to talk about his vision for Kitwe. All right, so at this particular point, we get on a short break where we get to pay our bills. And then after this, tell a friend to tell a friend that we're live on Facebook as well as on Ingoma TV channel 109. Tell a friend to give us a comment, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Do you think this is the right candidate for you as Kitwe? Let us know what you think about the conversation that we're having tonight, and stay tuned. Right after the break, we get to dive deep into the main conversation. Stay tuned and keep watching. In a world shaped by voices, difficult conversations can no longer be avoided. Leaders must be transparent. The people want to listen. The people want answers. Hi, my name is Chanda Kaela, and I bring you Open Mic Conversation, a show that bridges the gap between leadership and the general public.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Kitwe, located in the heart of the Copper Belt, with a population of over 500,000 residents, this city has been the backbone of Zambia's development, contributing significantly in different sectors. Economically speaking, being largely dependent on copper, Kitwe is home to copper-producing mines, like Kokola copper mines, Mopani copper mines, Grizzly mining, just to mention part of few. Trade is another aspect that contributes significantly to the gross domestic product, and being home to one of Zambia's huge markets, Chisopane market, lies right here in Kitwe, which contributes to the economic stature of our country. Educationally speaking, Kitwe is home to the second largest higher learning institution, the Copper Belt University, plus other higher learning institutions that produce on an annual basis skilled and trained professionals that contribute to the job market and labor market of our country. And being the talent hub of Zambia, Kitwe is home to 2 elephants in the Zambia Premier League football, Ghana and Power Dynamos, and also the music, the fashion. Kitwe has given Zambia so very much. And what are we giving back in return? Dilapidated roads, improper land settlement, poor waste management and waste collection, lack of employment and opportunities for our young people, lack of empowerment for our mothers and brothers and fathers in the markets. Being born and bred in this city, I have an obligated duty to play a role in its attainment of development. With that said, I, Dickson Young Mutambo, will be contesting in the forthcoming general elections for the position of mayor for this great city of Kitwe. Now do some kaka software ya new bagelo na bagaiga.
Lelo ndesumina ukweba titetindeto buyandanshi muno mumusumba wa Kitwe palwandiyo. Echo ndemilomba mwebena nkana mwebena usakile abena chimwemwe bakamfinza na bakwacha bonse mwebekala Kitwe ukuti twikatane apatulete ko bulwendo wakutwala Kitwe kuchalo.
So to all the boys and girls, to all the ladies and the gentlemen, the young men and the women, the fathers and the mothers, the grandparents and the grandchildren, this is the governor speaking. And the governor says, we are in charge.
Hello and welcome back to Open Mic Conversation, where we are diving deep into the roots of Kitwe, alright? And our special guest for tonight is Dickson Young Mutambo, most commonly known as the governor. Now he is the aspiring mayor and he is one of the future, alright? We'll end here, but let us just allow him to give us one of the few things that he has for Kitwe. So if you are from the Copper Belt and you are watching us on our Facebook page, if you're from Kitwe and you are watching the governor right here on Ingoma TV channel 109, this is what he has to say to you at this particular time. So we want to find out from you, Mr. Governor, what are some of the things that you have planned for the people of Kitwe, right?
First and foremost, given of my campaign, the tagline, not do something new. That is what we want of the residents of Kitwe. Because even when development comes, it is still backward. We are not going to accept nor sustain that development that is going to come. To have a mind shift, a panel beating of mindset in the people. Look at the empowerment of young people. This is obviously subject to governs the city council. Wants to be empowerment and skills and talent empowerment. Let me just explain briefly on these three empowerments. Economic empowerment is looking at those entrepreneurs. And a lot of young people are running businesses right here in Kitwe. And you'll find that those that started businesses here in Kitwe, they have decided to flee Kitwe and come to Lusaka. Why? Because there are better opportunities, better trading conditions, so they say, in Lusaka as compared to Kitwe. So what we want is to create startups for small businesses, not only for young people. We understand that when we empower a young person who is at home, then that matters. That father who is leaving early in the morning to work, God, the company will be doing that anymore. So economic empowerment will look at empowering those people who put their own.
Okay, so it seems like we still have a caller who's trying to reach us. At the moment, we are not getting calls currently. We shall accept your calls once we are in the calling time hour. So right about now, we're still listening to what the governor has to say about the people of Kitwe and for the people of Kitwe. So if you want to give us a call, please wait for a minute. We have seen the phone has already started buzzing and people want to give their 2 cents on the conversation. But right about now, we're not taking phone calls. We shall do that after the conversation has been had. So you can go ahead.
That's on the economic part. Educationally speaking, you'll find young men and women in mobile money booths. You'll find young men on stations. And now every young person who doesn't have anything to do is being called under the umbrella of a junkie. But these are the people that I'm found with, because they are young people, and I'm a young person as well. We're able to relate to one another. And you find that this person completed their secondary school a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they've got excellent points. But guardians are unable to take them to college. Their guardians are unable to take. So using the little experience I gained as a student leader at the public institution, working closely with the Higher Education Laws and Scholarship Board, mandated under the Local Government Act, the City Council is going to create opportunity for young people to be sent to school. Not to rely on the Higher Education Laws and Scholarship Board, but there are various organizations that are willing to sponsor certain students at a certain percentage just so that they can attain their education. Not only rely on non-government organizations, but there are also companies under what we are calling the corporate social responsibility that are willing to take young people to school so that they can attain their degree and become a better person in their family, in their community, in their economic. Then there is skills and talent development. So many people, about the world, to be precise, have shaped the music industry of our country. You and I can both agree to that particular standard. So now, there are these people that want musicians. There are these people that want to be the next Paxton Dark. There are these young people that they are God-given gifts because the skill is going to take you to places that you've only dreamt of. So we want to ensure that those skills are developed. We want to ensure that that talent is manifested in the best way that it can. How? Recreational facilities. How are we going to do that? Creating recreational facilities in all constituencies here in Kitwe. Facilities that are going to be able to see those that love to do boxing enter into a ring so that they can represent Kitwe, so that they can represent Zambia. Recreational facilities that are going to have proper soccer playing fields, to have those people harvest and wave the Zambian flag, market it and bring more tourists in our country. So we are going to look at that particular aspect of empowerment. The other thing that I would want to talk about, if time permits me, is maintenance. You see, the local council has a workload. Things that were supposed to be done 10, 15, 20 years ago, you find that they are not done today. The dilapidated roads that we're having today is because they are lacking frequent maintenance. Government is going to erect up a building. Government is going to issue out a station like Kitwe Main Bus Station, which is the only recognized station we have, by the way, but there is no maintenance. So under the regime of Dickson Young Mutambo, as an independent mayor, we're going to ensure that there is proper maintenance of roads, there's proper maintenance of stations, there's proper maintenance of marketplaces to ensure that even those that are coming after us are able to find the facilities that we have to offer for them. Specifically speaking on the roads, you will find that the reason why they're dilapidated till this day is because of one prominent thing. We're using the same roads as heavy-duty vehicles.
All right. So before you even go further on the dilapidated roads, right? We're talking about these services such as education empowerment. I can see in your manifesto you have 7 pillars that you want to drive the new Kitwe with. So I want to understand, when we talk about these things, where is the financial capacity going to come from? Are we going to solicit them from the well-wishers, or there's a specific way of how you'd want to tackle it? Is it using CDF, or it's only based on the people that, the different stakeholders that we might engage?
In government, there is certain fund, but the problem that we might make as citizens and also as government players is to solely depend on the government coffers, because being a government body as a city council, you will request funds here in June, I would say. But by the time those funds are going to be approved, by the time you're going to receive those funds into the city council coffers, it's going to be a whole year through the process that is called bureaucracy, which is a very good process, but sometimes I love to believe that it hinders development, it hinders progress. So we're not going to solely rely on the government coffers. Yes, Kitwe is part of the government budget, but we're not going to close our eyes and say we're waiting for government funds to be allocated to us. No, we are going to think outside the box through public-private partnerships, engage companies, like I said, in corporate social responsibility, engage non-government organizations, and there are well-wishers as well. This is something that I did when I was president at the University of Zambia, a public institution. Now imagine we used to request for funds at student union level, and it used to take months for it to be given to us. Now imagine a whole city council. So you find that the reason why development is delayed in certain places is because we are folding our hands and waiting for the system to take its part. You see, there's a very big difference between a leader and a good leader. A leader succumbs to a system, but a good leader overcomes that particular system. So we're not going to be dumbfolded and say we're just going to wait for government coffers. No, we are going to think outside the box through PPPs, like I've mentioned, through non-government organizations, even government organizations, even other well-wishers, just so that we can put bread on our table and make sure that our progress is slowly moving, so that by the time the money that we requested from government is being released, it's just going to be icing on an already perfectly baked cake.
All right, interesting. I like the fact that you are trying to think outside the box, but my question still stands. Do you think the previous, what is something that you feel like the previous mayor has not done that you would do to ensure that Kitwe is not the same as it is? Or that, what is that one thing that you look at, and every time you look at it, you say, I want to be a mayor and ensure that Kitwe has this and this, with a good standard, and it has it's top notch when it comes to what is being what is done, or what is being done in Kitwe. What are some of the specific things that you can pinpoint at and look at and say, in the next 3 years as Dickson Young Mutambo, I should be able to achieve this? And how long should the people of Kitwe give you, or what time frame should the people of Kitwe give you?
The first thing that I'm going to really work on is accessibility as a mayor. You know, it's very sad to go into the streets, interact with people, and they do not even know what a mayor is. Not who a mayor is, but what is a mayor? What is this position of mayor? They know member of parliament, they know of councillor because they're staying in that particular ward, they know of president, of course, but they've never heard of this particular seat of mayor.
Exactly. So it's actually funny because, you know, certain people actually even have to ask, who is a mayor? You know, so I like the aspect of you putting it out there to say you need people to understand who is a mayor and what is being a mayor. People on the ground need to know. There's also a concern from the general public that as politicians, you would come out here and promise us bread and butter, honey and gold. But once it's time for after elections, it changes from people being leaders, from us as the civil servants, us as the people are the ones who are employing you. But after everything shifts, the leaders now become the bosses and they no longer look at their people as their employers. Things change. It's now like a campaign, or rather a manifesto is only a mere promise. What is your statement on that?
Exactly, Chanda. The hearts of people here in Kitwe, I'll speak for Kitwe because this is where I'm staying, this is where I'm doing my ground, this is where I'm from. People's hearts in Kitwe are broken. Why? Because they woke up in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, went on the queue, all the way up to just so that they can cast a vote to someone's vision, someone who came to kneel down, someone who promised heaven, someone whom they believe they are going to exacerbate the situation of development here in Kitwe. But 4 years later, people's hearts are broken. Now, this is an example that I'm giving. I'm starting my political journey now. I do not intend on ending my political journey on the position of that. So my vision is people of Kitwe as though I'm still campaigning, even after being put on that particular seat, because I understand that 4 years is not a very long time. Because Zambians do not forget. Residents do not forget. But I know for a fact I'm going to come back and want to elevate my a member of parliament for one of the constituencies here in Kitwe. People, candidates, certain candidates refused.
Okay, so before you conclude, we actually have a text message right here, and it is coming from Chola all the way from Usakile. All right, so this is saying, "Hi, my name is Chola, and I am from Usakile. I love the show, and I think that this young man has potential, but the thing is, they are all the same. Today they would say this, and tomorrow they don't attain what they promise. So what is he going to do for us in Usakile?" All right, so we have a text message from all the way from Usakile. So as Dickson Young Mutambo, what are you going to do for the people of Usakile? For the people of different communities are depending on their mayor, are depending on their leaders, and then most of the times they end up being disappointed. So we have somebody all the way from Usakile, and they're talking about water issues. What are you going to do for the people of Usakile? I believe for a long period of time, these people have been having challenges when it comes to water, when it comes to even good sanitation. So what is your point of view when it comes to such areas in Kitwe?
I would love to acknowledge what all the mothers say. We are taking, personally, I'm taking a very different approach, and that is the route of independent. So many disadvantages that come in.
Exactly. So you actually jumped on my next question. I'm glad you're tackling it right now.
Exactly. My slogan says it's a governor for everybody. So you see, I do not want to align myself with a political party. Why? Because I want to put leadership in front and then politics behind. The reason why I'm saying this is there are certain opportunities that come to certain people. If I'm an adopted candidate, the reason why I'm going to be on the ballot is because the party gave me that adoption. They are my bosses. So everything I do, everything I say needs to be set and approved by the bosses. There is no adoption. You, the people, are the ones adopting me. The Usakile residents, the Tamboli residents,
Okay, so there are people that are looking up they're looking up to their leaders from different areas. I like the aspect of we have so many talented youngsters in Chamboli. We have the likes of 76 Drums, who is so proud of the fact that he came from Chamboli. And then in your preamble, you mentioned to say you want to change the narrative of people coming all the way from the Copper Belt, bringing them all the way to Lusaka because they feel like Lusaka has greener pastures. When we talk about people that have got skills, that have got trades, that have got talents, what is your plan for that young child or that youth in Usakile and that youth in Chamboli? What is your vision for the youths out there?
Now, even before, let me just briefly narrate the issue, the problem of water in Usakile. The problem of water is not only in Usakile, it's not only in Chamboli, it's everywhere in Kitwe, which is because you find a leaking pipe and people are drawing water from there. Water to drink, not water to wash their feet, no, water to drink. And because of that, because of the inability or lack of water in their residence, they are not even reporting those particular problems to the city council. making the problem even worse. So what we're going to do, working very closely with Water and Sewerage, we're going to ensure constant maintenance, which goes back to what I said. These pipes have been running since Kaunda's time. I beg to be corrected, but these are the grounds and these are the facts. They have been running since Kaunda's time. Now, I'm not saying we're going to procure a new pipe because those are millions of kwacha that we're talking about. We're looking at things that are going to change right here.
All right, so Dickson, I will have to cut you a bit because we are in the 45th minute of the show, so we're receiving a call, but then okay, the caller has cut. So we can receive our calls. If you have a call, if you have a text message that you want to give us, all you have to do is simply give us that call. Mr. Dickson Young Mutambo is right here and is definitely willing to answer all your questions. If you are from Kitwe and you want to give him a question, he is right here to answer your questions. As you were saying, you can still go ahead and conclude.
Exactly. There's a team using we say we don't like to do things. We like
okay,
to
so we have a caller on the line. We have a caller on the line. Hello and good evening. Hello. All right, so we lost that one. So if you want to reach us, you can simply send us a text message, or you can simply just drop us a text message, or simply let us know what your comment is on Facebook. Feel free to engage with us. Feel free to interact with us. Right about now, we take a short break, and once we're back, we continue. Stay tuned and keep watching.
Is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 To open my conversation. Today's conversation is diving deep into the roots of Kitwe, where we get to talk about different places and different things that are happening in Kitwe. We're also not forgetting that we're talking about youth leadership, local governance, and the future of Kitwe, all right, in the hands of the aspiring mayor, who is no other than Dickson Young Mutambo, all right. So at this particular time, I would like Mr. Dickson to give us some of the things that he feels are outstanding, or some of the things that he feels makes him so different, because we heard that people have been complaining, people are talking about how leaders do not fulfill their promises, and he made mention to say he's not standing or affiliating himself with any political party, and he's standing as an independent candidate, all right. And that also raises so many questions to the general public and to the people of Kitwe, because if you look at some situations where they see an independent candidate, you know, certain youths or certain people out there get to wonder to say, where will the funding come from, and how will you as Dickson Young Mutambo work with the government of the day? How is your work relationship going to be? And then in just these few minutes as well, you can also let us know what your vision is with the people of Chamboli, with the people of Nkana, with the people of different places in Kitwe. All right, so the floor is yours and you have this time. So let us know what your vision is when it comes to Kitwe.
Thank you so very much, Chanda.
angula ntile natotela sana Chanda nisuminisheni kulanda muchivemba bantu abengia kashi bakupitwe bideva muchivemba
never feel kuleo
understand wino mupetana konsi nalaba lila popeli ashida bu independent ila ashida bu statukwete chipachili tusawe kening maisha pali simbo yesu which is simbo pali pinto na nga wiso simbo ya ndinga independent mwewa leo mfwako meya leo kala mutu na ichawa leo mfama azibonse abadifethi tu abalefuma kufanifika kusona nabale baba independent mulamule muli ba UPND muli ba Citizens First at least muli ba NRPU naba independent nabeno mobale mulamule muluba lelo fotulela ndafya kwebati ngameya na ukwate chipanyule sapota elo council olefuma kuchamboli amkelo mala le bona tabakweta ma offer letters le lo me anga echipani tela lesa pani chama politics pantu loyalty yandi pakutendeka yaba kuchipani le lonsha pelo le umunandi opportunity pakweba talandi leko abantu bakwe into imoneke pantu amalumbo yala ku political party yakwe so fotilela ndafya kweba tinga independent chala shalangu ngulu shikuntanshi olotala bikama politics yala
okay, so do you plan before you conclude, I would like to ask a question. Do you plan on furthering your aspirations? Would you want to become a president as time goes by? Or maybe you limit yourself to the extent of member of parliament or as a mayor? What is your line of thought in terms of that?
Abantu abenengana batsuminisha balando kwebatu ndo wakashiko yene kutaba kateka mu 2036 nishine etimbyo mukana awe so ine kubomba okwebata abantu nga bambo kulanda tichine ali bomba paka nonwaka ekene tumbushite na paka lamba pakwebata bo kine muchika. So if the people want it, if God allows it, then definitely I'm going to go for it.
Perfect. Okay. All right, so you can go ahead. I gave you a few minutes for your conclusion, so you can give the people, there's a voice out there, there's a youth out there who is wondering, how did he find himself in this position? So I would like you to give a closing remark owing to the fact that we want youths to participate in leadership programs. We want youths to put themselves out there as well. So we want to hear your closing remarks as a youth leader who is aspiring to be the mayor of Kitwe, one of the biggest cities that also helps and also contributes to the aspect of economic development as well as the national development. So we want to know as youths, what is your word out there to the people of Kitwe, and also vision yabo. They're just looking and they're trying to build their dream. What is your word out there?
My word out there to every young person, every dad, auntie, uncle, it's not limited to you. It's that is particular. But this time around, we're saying we are in charge. If we move forward with the software,
all right, so right about now we go on a short break, and then after the short break we continue with the conclusion. Stay tuned and keep watching. As we are listening to our closing remarks, we allow the governor, or rather we allow Dickson Young Mutambo to give us his final remarks. Hello, you can go ahead. Hello? Hello? What minutes did you make, Iwe?